Hey everybody, it's your old pal Wood Doofus here. I've been working on a 14-foot bench system that'll consist of 3 units with a full-size top that goes across. I've already made these 2 units and I made one of the drawers that's going to be in there. So I'm going to be working on the 3rd one right now. As you can see, it's a pretty simple carcass system. It has a toe kick at the bottom, it has a face frame made out of poplar, and we got soft close undermount drawer slides that I'm going to be installing for these big giant drawers. So the whole carcass consists of these side panels and then a system of stretchers that go across from various places. So the first thing I had to do was cut this square, which is just 16 by 17, and then I notched out the toe kick, which is 3.5 inches by 3.5 inches. In order to cut the toe kick, I made a template using the miter saw and the table saw, and as you can see, it's got the overcuts here, but that made sure that I could make these square, straight cuts. Once I got those straight, square cuts, I marked it out on the piece that I'm going to cut, and then I used a jigsaw, but I stayed shy of the line on both sides. After I jigsawed a rough space out of there, I used a flush trim bit on my palm router and went along that edge and got it nice and straight. All the stretchers that I cut are going to be 3.5 inches, and they're just going to go at various places along the carcass, and I'll show you that in a few seconds. I connected all the stretchers with just glue and pocket holes. I've determined based on the space that I'm putting these units in that the 2 side carcasses have to be 49 inches long. So that means that the stretchers are going to subtract the 2 widths of the side panels, which leaves them at 47.5 inches. I need all 5 of these stretchers to be as consistently the same as possible. So my favorite way to cut consistently sized pieces is to only cut one that is measured and then just stack them on top of the miter saw and match the blade up with the end of the one that you cut and cut the other ones. So I just got 2 more the exact same length as the first one. Now I'm going to take this cut off and cut 2 more and I'll have all 5. Next I'm going to cut the pocket holes in each one of these 5 pieces. I just need 2 holes in each end of each piece, so I got a lot to do here. I got to make sure that my stop on my pocket hole bit is set to 3/4 inch material because that's what I have, and then we'll be ready to attach them to the side panels. It's important when you're screwing pocket holes in that you have the angle of the screw facing into the most wood you can face it into. So in this case, this is going to be the top of the unit, and I want it to go into the wood. It's really tempting a lot of the times to think, oh, I want these screws to be facing inward because they'll be more hidden, but it's just not a good practice to have them angled towards the edge of the wood because that's just not a good connection and it might fail on you. In my situation, this is actually going to be hidden more, so I have these facing up, and then the top of the bench is going to sit on there and hide the pocket holes anyway. So now that I got those 3 main stretchers on, I can go ahead and attach the other side. Alright, this may be confusing because I have it upside down, but this is the top, and I'm adding this support stretcher right here, and it's going to give some rigidity to this top stretcher and add some support to the top once it goes on. So I have glue here along the whole edge of this one, and of course on the ends also. So once I screw this in, I'm going to pin nail it in so to hold it while the glue dries. So I have one more stretcher here, and it's going to go along the back lower section of the cabinet, and that's going to keep everything nice and square. But I have a system in place right now that involves the drawer slides. So the drawer slides are going to be sitting on top of this stretcher here, so I need a support to be on the back of that is level with this stretcher. So I'm going to incorporate that support into the back stretcher, and all I'm going to do to mark it is stack it right here where I need the support to be, try to get it as square as I can, mark it like that, and cut it on this side of the line, and then attach it to my stretcher in the back. So this might be confusing until you see it put all together, but I had to have something for the stretcher to also rest on when I attach it. So I added this block with a 3/4 inch reveal on there, and I'm going to glue and pin it like that, and this part right here on both sides is going to be where the drawer slide rests. And then we just attach the whole system with pocket screws to the back. I need to make sure that these two things are perfectly level with each other because the drawer slide needs to be level, and it looks like they are, even though it's a little tight. It looks like we are ready to attach it to the back. And I just rest these on the floor, and then I could probably go ahead and just glue and pin nail my blocking into the side, and then I'm good to put my pocket hole screws in, and that'll be super strong. And like I said before, the drawer slide now has two places to rest, so it has good point of contact and support. All right, so the last kind of stretcher that I'm going to attach is my number 6, and this doesn't have pocket holes, it's just going to go face to face here on the toe kick. First of all, I cut this a little wide because I want to cut it to the exact dimension once I mark it, but I also know that this corner right here is a little rounded from using that flush trim bit when I cut out this profile. And so what I want to do to have this fit into that rounded edge is just to sand this edge a little bit and then bring it back. Alright, so I went ahead and cut it to size, and then I went ahead and rounded over the two ends of it, and so look how much better it fits in that curved edge right there. So now we're ready to mark this and cut it to its final width. Now we got it cut to size, and we got it glued on all the contact points, so we're ready to go ahead and pin it in. So for the sake of blocking, I'm going to also take this 3.5 by 3.5 inch block and put it right here, so when I put my face frame over, the face frame is going to be 1.5 inches to cover this profile and this profile, and I want something that the drawer slide can screw into, so that's what this block is for. This block on the back I'm probably not going to attach, but I am going to use it as a spacer while I attach this and then fix the drawer slide in place, and then I'll just take that out. You probably noticed that I have a little overhang on my drawer slide here. That's okay because my face frame is going to be 1.5 inches, and it's going to come and exceed the sticky outiness of the drawer slide, which is definitely a technical term. So once you very carefully get this 1.5 inch poplar strip face frame cut to size, I went ahead and clamped the long ones down to help me measure it. I'm going to take the short ones out, cut 2 pocket holes on each side, put the frame together, and then attach it to the carcass. So this is going to be a painted project, so I'm going to take all these nail holes that I just made and fill them with wood filler and then sand the face frame, and we should be ready to roll on this carcass. My go-to sanding system for something simple like this is just to use the 120 grit disc and soften up all the edges and corners. smooth everything out, and then switch to the 220 disc and get that smoothness on point. All right, so all 3 carcasses are done now. That's going to equal 14 feet of bench in the house that they go in once they're end to end. The next video in this series is going to be building the drawer boxes to put onto these drawer slides, so make sure you stay tuned for that. And subscribe so you'll be notified when that video comes out. Otherwise, as always, don't be afraid to be a doofus.